And screen share. Okay, I do see some of you just joined, but I already put away my roll sheet, so please send me an email later. Okay, now our formal meeting today is not going to be that long. We'll be done very quickly, I think. Okay, so we are here. Okay, and we're aiming for the exam to be next Tuesday. Okay, so let's review the ground rules for the exams because we haven't had an exam in a while. So quick heads up for that. So anyway, my game plan for today was 1 through 4, 9 through 18. It is not that long. We'll be done very, very quickly. In which case, there are two options. Option number one, I can let it be a question and answer session where you ask a whole bunch of questions, and that maybe will make it so that you don't have to ask as many questions next Tuesday, and then we can start the test earlier. Okay. The option number two is if you don't have any questions, we're done. We can just leave. Or maybe I take it back. Maybe there's a third option to actually get started with some of chapter 10, but I highly suspect a lot of you don't want me to do that. Okay, so, right, so let's think about the test again. So on Tuesday, I will start off with questions and answers right at what, 5:40? And the latest I will go is in 6 o'clock because you have to have at least 50 minutes to do the exam, right? But if people don't ask questions or if you want to stop earlier, that's okay. And then I will project, just like this, I'll project the questions, but I'll give maybe 5 minutes and I'll put it on Canvas announcements also. So you can go ahead and get started. I'll project the questions and you can take a picture on your cell phone, but if it works better for you, I will send it to Canvas announcements also. That way you can have it, you can print it out and so forth. Okay, during the exam, you need to show me, your camera has to be on. I need to see you and your actual background. So no special background, no Golden Gate Bridge, no outer space, anything like that. I need your actual background there during the test. Mute yourselves. You have to be muted. I don't want to hear anything in the background. And if you have a question during the test, then just send it through the chat rather than unmuting and blurting out something. I mean, think of what happens if we were meeting face to face, right? If we were meeting face to face, I wouldn't want you to just blurt out a question, but you would, raise your hand or ask me something privately, and then I'll answer privately, right? Rather than just interrupting the whole class on that. Okay, and then class ends normally at 6:55. So that means at 6:55, you have to stop essentially. I'll close the class as usual. Then you have 5 minutes to get your cell phone out and click, 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 click. Take pictures of all your pages, or if you have a scanner, like Cam Scanner or some other scanner, you can scan it. And so your test is due to me by 7 o'clock on Tuesday. And then you have another half an hour, 7:30, to submit the homework. But if you want to submit the homework early, I'll take the homework early. Like you want to submit it on Tuesday morning or something, that's fine. Then it's over and done with. Okay, the questions will be just like these. So what do you submit in the homework? All of this, including all the changes. Remember, I have a 70% homework rule. So if you don't submit any homework or at least 70% of the homework, I don't grade your test. Okay, I have to have the homework. That's my rules. Okay, so if you don't submit any homework or if you don't have at least 70% of the homework, I don't grade your test. And again, it's not that hard to do 70% of the homework considering I end up doing what, 30%, 40%, maybe sometimes even half of the homework, right? So there's not that much more for you to do. Okay. Now, I know some of you sent me something over the chat, but I can't see the chat while I'm screen sharing. So I will go ahead with the lecture. It's not going to be long. Okay. It won't take me very long at all to finish this off. Okay. And then at that point, your choice is ask me questions here. And again, the more questions you ask today, then the fewer I have to take up on Tuesday, right? So I'm still going to allow you for questions and answers on Tuesday, but if you want to ask more today, so think about what questions you might have for today, and I'll take them up for the rest of today if you wish. Okay. Otherwise, we might be done early, or maybe I'll sneak in some of chapter 10. I'll decide when I get to that. Okay. So let me go ahead and knock off the evens here. So 1 through 4, I'll do 2 and 4, and then I'll do all the evens, and that should not take that long. Okay, so after I finish that, I'll open it up to questions. Go ahead and put stuff in the chat if you wish, or if you want to unmute yourselves and tell me unmute after you unmute yourself, that's okay too. Okay, but let me go ahead and knock off 9.9. The main concept for 9.9 is marginal. Okay, marginal means derivative. Marginal revenue, marginal cost, marginal profit. Okay, it means derivative. Okay, so they might have R. R is for revenue. They might have C, which is cost, or they might have P, which is profit. Okay, so C is cost, P is profit. If it says marginal revenue or marginal cost or marginal profit, it still means derivative. So we're just doing a bunch of derivatives today. Okay, it's not really any harder than previous sections. In fact, in my opinion, if you ask for my opinion, 9.9 is very easy compared to a lot of other sections. Okay, so here we go. 9.9. Okay, I did check. I do believe that my problems this time are the same as yours. But again, even if they're not, don't worry, you're still learning stuff. Okay, so 9.9. So again, a reminder, you say, well, my problems don't match your problems. And it's not unusual for a teacher to show examples of problems that are not even from the book, right? So let's pretend half of the time they're from the book and half of the time they're not, which I don't think is unreasonable that that's what's happening. So that's an extra bonus, right? I mean, I've had classes, you've had classes, math classes, where the teacher just picks problems that are not from the homework, and then you end up doing the homework, right? So, so I apologize again if the problems don't match, but hey, you're still learning the stuff. And if half the problems are the same as yours, then, you know, more gravy for you, right? So to speak. Okay, but I think I checked, and I think all the problems that I'm showing you today do match, but if they don't, that's fine. Okay, so number 2, R of X is equal to 32X. And it says, what is the marginal revenue? And what does it represent? Okay, so 32X in my book, what is the marginal revenue? What does it mean? So marginal just means derivative. So what's the derivative of 32X? It's 32. Okay, so what does it mean? For each item that we sell, we have $32 in revenue. Okay, we stop and think about it. It's like we're basically saying it's easier than you think, folks. Whatever I'm selling something, it's $32 each, right? So if I sell nothing, 32 times nothing is nothing. Right? If I sell one item, I made 32 times one, $32. If I sell 2 of them, 32 times 2, $64. If I sell 1 million of them, it's 32 times 1 million, right? For each item we sell, we have $32 in revenue. Okay. Now, number 4 is not quite as easy. R of X is 25X minus 0.05X squared. And that's often the case. Right? It's not as easy as just 25X. Maybe there's some overhead, right, for renting a building or electricity or water or whatever. Okay. So for number 4, they ask us all this. Find R of 50 and tell what it represents. Okay, so that has nothing to do with marginal. Well, that shows up in part B. So there's no derivative here. So I just plug in directly. So R of 50 means when I sell 50 items, my profit is going to be blah, 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 whatever I get when I plug in 50, right? Okay, so R of 50, 25 times 50 minus 0.05 50 squared. Okay, punch it in a machine. You can do that as well as I can. 1125, $1,125. And it asks, what is the meaning? The meaning is if we sell 50 items, the revenue is $1,125. That's all there is to it. Well, I forgot to check if I'm recording. So let me double check. Yes, I am recording. Okay, so go back. All right. Okay, part B asks for the marginal. Find the marginal revenue function. Okay, and then after that, plug in 50. So marginal means derivative. So the derivative of 25x is 25. Derivative of negative 0.05x squared, 2 times that turns out to be negative 0.1x. All right, then they told me to plug in 50. So R prime of 50, 25 minus 0.1 times 50, punch it in your calculator, $20. Then it says, what does that predict about selling the next unit and the next 2 units? So what happens if I sell the next unit and the next 2 units? Well, roughly $20 each. So if we sell 1 more unit, we should earn about $20 more. If we sell 2 more units, well, $40 more, 2 times 20, right? At that production level, at a production level of 50. Now, what is part D? Part D says, find R of 51 minus R of 50 and explain what this value represents. Well, R of 51 means the revenue after selling 51 items. R of 50, we just computed that in part A. That's the revenue after selling 50 items. So if I subtract this, this is the revenue just for the 51st item. I literally am getting the revenue from item number 51. But you can see the work here is much harder than finding the derivative. Okay, so I already did the marginal, and it came out to be $20. Okay. What is the actual difference between R of 51 and R of 50? That will be the true difference between the two. Okay. I'm expecting it to be about $20. So I have to figure out R of 51. That means plug in 51 back here and back here. So put a 51 there, put a 51 there. So 25 times 51 minus 0.05, 51 squared. Punch in your calculator, 1144.95. Then I subtract R of 51 minus R of 50. So 1144.95 minus R of 50, 1125. Okay, punch it out, $19.95. So the true difference between R of 51 and R of 50 is $19.95. Okay, that is the actual revenue that I got by selling just the 51st item. Okay, again, the logic, R of 51 is the total revenue if I sell 51 items. R of 50 means the total revenue after I sell 50 items. So the difference would be just the 51st item, that one item, $19.95. This is a lot harder to compute. And what do we get for the marginal, which was a lot faster? $20. Okay. So if you're happy with just a quick and dirty estimate that's close to the difference between R of 51 and R of 50, that's what the marginal does for you. So $20. The actual was $19.95. Okay, so we were off by a nickel. Okay, then 9 through 18, it's very easy. Find the marginal cost functions. You're just finding the derivatives. Okay, it looks like they're all polynomials for the most part. No product rule, no quotient rule, no chain rule, right? So these are very fast. Then I just have one last word problem, 18, and then I'll be done. Okay, so 10, C of x is 200 plus 16x. The marginal means the derivative. The derivative of 200 is 0. The derivative of 16x is 16, so C prime of x is 16. We're done. Okay, 12, C of x is 300 plus 10x plus 1 over 100x squared. It asks for the marginal. Marginal cost function means derivative. Derivative of this is 0. Derivative of 10x is 10. Derivative of 1 over 100x squared, 2 times 1 over 100 is 1 over 50. X, sorry, that's a mistake. It's supposed to be x to the first power, which means you don't have to write it. So pretend it's just like this, 1 over 50x. Okay, 14, they say C is 0.1x cubed minus 1.5x squared plus 9x plus 15. Okay, you have to admit these are very easy. no product rule, no quotient rule, no chain rule. Okay, so C prime, marginal. So 3 times 0.1 is 0.3 x squared minus 2 times 1.5 is 3 x. Or, 2 minus 1 is 1, x to the 1, just like this. But if it's x to the 1, you shouldn't write it. Like I made a mistake there. I wasn't supposed to write it, so just leave that. Plus the derivative of 9x is 9, and the derivative of 15 is 0. So that's it. Okay, 16. C of x is equal to 50 plus 48x plus x cubed. C prime, marginal. Derivative of 50 is 0, so don't even write it. Derivative of 48x is 48. Derivative of x cubed is 3x squared. Okay, that's how fast this section was, folks. It's barely 6 o'clock. So 18 is the last one I was going to do, and then I'm done, although it's a little bit longer than usual. It is a word problem. Okay, so I'll be done within 5 minutes. So if you want to start thinking of problems you want me to do, go ahead and put it in the chat. I saw some of you probably already put it in the chat, but I can't see it yet. Okay, but then we can start reviewing for the test. And again, the more we do today, right, then the less questions we have to worry about on Tuesday. And Tuesday, once class starts, if nobody has any questions, we'll go straight to the test. How's that? Right, but the latest I'll go is 6 o'clock because I have to give you at least 50 minutes to do the test, right? But the more questions you ask now, then the fewer next time. Okay, so I'll be done within 5 minutes or so. I just have to do 18, but it's a little bit longer. Okay, so let's see, 18 here. So C of x is 300 plus 6x plus 1 over 20x squared. Find the marginal cost at 8 units. Okay, so I take the derivative, plug in 8. And what does this predict about the cost of producing 1 additional unit? So if I produce 1 more unit, the approximate cost is, whatever that comes out to be. And then part B, sort of like what we saw before, right? Calculate C of 9 minus C of 8 to find the actual cost of producing 1 additional unit. This is harder to compute. The marginal is much easier. Okay? And we're expecting the numbers to be fairly close. Okay, so C prime of x, derivative of 300 is 0, derivative of 6x is 6, derivative of 120 x squared, 2 times 1 over 20 is 1 over 10, 1 over 10x. Okay, then I plug in 8. C prime of 8, 6 plus 1/10 times, that's an 8 there. It's funny looking 8. 1/10 times 8, $6.80. The cost of producing the 9th unit, the next unit, is about $6.80. Okay, it's not so easy to compute C of 9 minus C of 8, but overall, big picture, $6.85. So it's pretty close, right? Pretty close. C of 8, have to plug in 8 right there and right there. So it's 300 plus 6 times 8 plus 1 over 20, 8 squared. Okay, again, I won't take up class time to actually punch in my calculator. You can do that as well as I can. It comes out to be $351.20. You try that on your own. C of 9 means put a 9 there and a 9 there. So 300 plus 6 times 9 plus 1 over 29 squared. Punch it in your calculator. For now, just take my word for it, but you can try it on your own. $358.05. Okay, then I just subtract C of 9 minus C of 8. So C of 9 means the cost of producing 9 units. C of 8 means the cost of producing 8 units. So if I take the difference, that's the cost of producing just the 9th unit. So if I take that minus that, it's $6.85. Okay, the marginal was $6.80. So pretty close, very close, as you can see. All right, I'm finished. Okay, so I'll put this away and start looking at the questions you might have from the chat. So I will stop share temporarily and look at the chat. Okay, and let's see. Okay, thank you again, Jonathan, for all that. Okay, so. Okay, general review of all chapters. Well, that kind of depends. Okay, so let me check that. A lot of it has to do with Jonathan. Thanks again, Jonathan, for all your help. Let's see. Okay, 9.735, 9.67, 9.71. Okay, and then somebody asked for a general review. Okay, yeah, how many questions are on the test? I usually give about 10, right? So let's see, if you count the number of sections we have, that means I should give one question from each section, right? And maybe a couple more from others. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections. So every section will be covered and maybe a couple more from somewhere else. Okay. So let me go ahead and try the ones that were asked for, and then I'll come back later. Okay, 9.519, 9.616. Okay, is there a difference between the slope of the tangent line and the instantaneous rate of a change of a function? No, they all mean derivative. Okay, so during the test, if you see any of that language, you know it means derivative. So slope of the tangent line, derivative, right? Instantaneous rate of change, derivative. What else? Velocity. Velocity is derivative. Marginal is derivative. In my opinion, you don't really have to write those down because it can't be anything else. So if you see those words, you should say to yourself, oh yeah, I have to do the derivative, right? For all of those. Okay, so I have some here right now. You can keep typing, but I can't see the chat while I screen share at the same time. But when I finish this, and I'll go back to that. Okay, so let me go back and share the screen. We're still recording, by the way. All of this should still be on the video if you want to check the video later. Okay, so let me see what people asked for. 9.7. Oh, yeah, and yeah, I have to ask if your question is the same as mine, unfortunately. Okay, somebody asked for 9.7, number 1. I'll show you mine, but if not, can you look around and see if it's similar? So whoever asked that, 9.7, number 1?
Yes. What's the
Pi to,
pi?
Pi to the 4th power?
Yes.
Right. Okay, pi to the 4th power is a constant, so its derivative is 0. Okay, it's 3.14 times 3.14 times 3.14, can't even say it, times 3.14, which is, who cares? Whatever that number is, it's a number. Therefore, its derivative is automatically 0. Okay, so 9.7, number 1 is 0.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. 9.735. Okay, so this is my 35. And does that match? Whoever asked that, can you please tell me? Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and do it. 9.735. Okay, if I don't hear anything, I'll just go ahead and do it.
The same.
Same? Okay. So 10 times whatever. Okay, so I'll lose the book and write it. 9.735. 10 times 3x plus 1 cubed minus 10. And find dp dx. Just find a derivative. Okay, so 3 times 10 is 30. 3x plus 1 squared times the derivative of the inside. So what's the derivative of 3x plus 1? That's 3. The derivative of negative 10 is 0. And then, yeah, just do easy stuff like 3 times 30 is 90. So 90, 3x plus 1 squared. But you shouldn't have to multiply that out. So I wouldn't bother multiplying that out. So leave that alone. Okay, let's see, 9.6. 9.6, number 7. So here's my 7. 3/4 x to the 5th minus 2x cubed plus 5 raised to the 8th power. So whoever asked that, could you tell me if that's the one you want? Or otherwise, I know sometimes it's offset by 2 or 3. So is this the
No.
problem that you wish? If I don't hear anything, I'll just go ahead and do it.
No, it's not, but
None?
that
Okay.
one would help too. So that's
Want me
fine.
to just show you this anyway?
Yeah, it's actually the one on the second one. You're the one after 8, number 8. It's number
So
8.
you want me to do number 8?
No, sorry, it's number 9. It's
9.
number
So the
9.
one that you're asking for is my number 9.
Yes.
Okay, I know it's kind of awkward, and sorry about that, but nothing I can do about it. Okay, so again, this is 9.67, or your 9.67. Okay, so let's see. S of t is equal to 5t minus 3, 2t to the 4th plus 7 cubed. Okay, this book is kind of heavy. Okay. Well, I'm glad I don't have to carry these books to campus. At least that's, one nice thing about not going to campus, I suppose. These books are kind of heavy. Okay, S prime. So the derivative of 5t is just 5. And the derivative of this is chain rule. So 3 times negative 3 minus 9, 2t to the 4th plus 7 squared, and then times the derivative of the inside, which is what, 8t cubed. And then easy stuff is 9 times 8 is 72. So 5 minus 72t cubed times 2t to the 4th plus 7 quantity squared, like that. In case you're wondering, no, don't go 5 minus 9 equals negative 4 first. That's a multiplication, right? So multiplication has precedence over subtraction, right? So I have to do all this and then 5 minus that whole thing.
So did you multiply 9 by 2 and then 7?
Would I multiply the 9 by the 2 and 7? No, because I'm squaring it. Exponent has precedence over multiplication, which means I'm never going to multiply this out, essentially. I'm going to do 9 times 8 times t cubed, but you can't distribute here because there's an exponent. Now, if I didn't have an exponent there, if it was like that, then yeah, I can distribute it. But the squared means the squared has to be before, distributing, which really essentially means it's not worth distributing. So just leave it like that.
Yeah. And then which rule did you do first before the chain rule? Because you took the derivative of 5t minus 3 first.
I took the derivative of 5t. So I just did the derivative of 5t, which is 5. And then I took the derivative of negative 3, blah, 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 all the rest of it, essentially. It's negative 3 times 2t to the 4th plus 7 cubed. So you go 3 times negative 3, which is negative 9. 2t to the 4th plus 7 squared, 3 minus 1, and then times derivative of the inside. Okay, maybe that 5t is getting away. It's almost like just, how about ignore the 5t? Don't even look at it. I know the derivative is 5, so ignore all the 5s. Just pretend you're working on that. Negative 3, 2t to the 4th plus 7 cubed. So it should look like that.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Thank you, Professor.
All right, you're welcome. And then 9.616. So again, I'll show you my 16, but it may not match your 16. but maybe it's close. So do you see your 16 is my 18 or whatever, maybe?
Is that 9.6?
9.6. Somebody asked for 9.616. I'm in the same section. I was already at 9.6, so I figured out I might as well do another 9.6. So whoever asked for 9.616, could you please unmute yourself and tell me if this matches, or if not, it's one of the close by ones? And if not, I'll just go ahead and do this. And I don't hear anything, so I'll just go ahead and do that very one.
It's number 18.
It is 18?
18.
Okay, so you want me to do my 18, which is your 16, I'm assuming, right? These were offset too, so that's why I guess this was also. Okay. So y equals square root of x squared plus 3x is your 16, I'm assuming. Right, so we need to know what square root means. It means raise it to the 1/2 power. So y prime, whoops, I didn't want to do red. Y prime, okay, 1/2 comes down, x squared plus 3x to the negative 1/2. Remember, 1/2 minus 1 is negative 1/2, right? 1/2 minus 1, 1/2 minus 2/2, negative 1/2, times the derivative of the inside, which is 2x plus 3. All right, clean it up. That means square root on the bottom, so that comes down. 2x plus 3 is on top. 2 is on the bottom, and square root is on the bottom.
Professor, what I didn't understand is what is that 2 in the bottom before the root?
That's the same as this half,
In the end.
1/2. So the 2 is on the bottom, it stays there.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, you could say a half. I mean, technically, you could say 1 times, there's the half, but 1 times that is just that. So that's usually why you don't have to put the 1 anymore. So the 1 is on top, or the 1 is multiplying the 2x plus 3. Well, there it is, 2x plus 3. 2 is on the bottom. That's on the bottom because it's a negative exponent. That's a square root, and that's that. Okay. Okay, 9.519. Okay, so let me cross that out. 9.519. And again, if whoever asked for that, can you tell me if that's what you have? Y prime for y equals x times x squared plus 4 over x minus 2. So is that the one that you want?
That's correct, Professor, but that wasn't my question.
You don't want this anymore?
No, that wasn't my question, but that's correct. That's correct for 19.
Oh, okay. Well, somebody asked for it, so I'll just go ahead and do it. So y is equal to x times x squared plus 4 over x minus 2. Okay, I would highly advise you to multiply out the top first, so I don't have to do the product root inside a quotient root. So it's way easier if you go what? X cubed plus 4x over x minus 2. Right? X times x squared is x cubed. X times 4 is 4x. See, that way I don't have to do a product root inside a quotient root. Right? So now I have to do the quotient root. Okay, so it's the bottom times the derivative of the top. So 3x squared plus 4 minus the top times the derivative of the bottom. But the derivative of the bottom is just 1, so you don't even have to write it if you don't want to. All over x minus 2 squared. Okay, and is it worth cleaning up the top? In this case, it's probably easy to do. Okay, so when it comes to simplifying on the test, say if it's too much algebra, I won't have you clean it up. But if it's a reasonable amount, this is a reasonable amount, I'll have you do it. Okay, or during the test, if you're not sure, you can always ask me in the chat, should I keep going or should I not keep going? Now, you can always do easy stuff like clearly 9 times 8, okay, 72. We can all do that. But we've had some homework problems where it was really, really messy and you didn't feel like doing any more with it. This one, okay, FOIL is not that hard and distributing this is not that hard. Okay, don't multiply out the bottom. Usually it's not worth doing that. But I'll complete the top. So FOIL, right? 3x cubed plus 4x minus 6x squared minus 8. 3x cubed plus 4x minus 6x cubed minus 8. Okay, distribute the minus, so minus x cubed minus 4x all over x minus 2 squared. And 4x's cancel out. So that's a good reason to simplify because then sometimes you get a cancellation. Okay, so I have 3x cubed minus x cubed is 2x cubed, right? So 2x cubed minus 6x squared minus 8. I think that's about it. So minus 6x squared 8 all over x minus 2 quantity squared. Okay.
Professor, how did you
Yes.
get x cube in the beginning?
How to get this? The cube?
How did you get x? No, on the top, on the very top. When you started, what did you do to get x cubed plus 4x?
Right over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just multiplied these out. X times x squared plus 4 was the original question. So x times x squared is x cubed. X times 4 is 4x.
Thanks.
Because I didn't feel like doing the product rule inside the quotient rule. Okay, because if you do bottom times the derivative of the top, otherwise, right, if I left it like this, I would have to differentiate using the product rule. So, you might get mixed up, oh, I got to do a product rule inside a quotient rule. Well, if you just multiply it out, x cubed plus 4x, then I don't have to fool with a product rule anymore. So that's the reason why. Okay. All right, so I'm caught up with the last chat. So let me stop sharing and go back to where we were. Okay, let's see. Now, I don't think where I left off. So 9.5, 9.616, I got that. Okay, so check where I was. 9.716, 9.615, 9.719. Okay, so yeah, about when should I simplify or not? Both you and I would agree. Some of it was, like I said, too crazy. You had some real weird expression where you don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. So if I don't want to do it, I can't make you guys do it, right? But like I said, we had what, 9 times 8? We can all do that. Okay? So again, I don't have a hard and fast rule, but if you're not sure during the test, you can always ask me. Now, if it's just the previous problem I did, if you just FOIL, right? We can all do FOIL, like 2x plus 5 times x minus 4. Okay, you can do that. But if you have something weird with funny square roots and you raise it to the 5th power, nobody wants to do that. Okay, so that's the best I can say about that. Okay, let's see, 9.2, number 5, number 29, 9.6, number 8. And let's see. Okay, I think I've caught up for this round. Okay, you can still keep typing, but I won't be able to see it as I go over this round of questions. Okay, check. Am I still recording? Yeah, I'm still recording. Okay, so share the screen, but I can't see any chat anymore until I get off of that. Okay, 9.716, 9.716. 9.716. So here was mine. And if it's not that, can you tell me if it's close by? Or if not, just read it to me. So whoever asked for that, can you please verify if that's the correct one?
Yes.
That's correct? Okay. 5x cubed plus 1. X to the fourth plus 5x squared squared. Okay, it's a product rule, first function, second function, and there's also a chain rule, unfortunately. Okay, so copy the first function and then times the derivative of the second. Raised to the first power, and then by the chain rule times the derivative of the inside. So the derivative of the inside is 4x cubed plus 10x. Plus second function, copy it. Times the derivative of the first function, 15x squared. Okay, and yeah, maybe I'll just let you think for a moment. You don't have to say it out loud, but I guess I'm just asking you to read my mind. Okay, do you think I would make you multiply all of this stuff out? I mean, look at that and that and that and that. No, I'm not going to make you multiply that out. Okay, I don't want to do it. You know, you have to get that, FOIL that out, get that answer times that. I will not make you do that. Okay, but again, during the test, if you're not sure, you can always ask me. Or if enough people ask for it, I might just say, okay, everybody, hey, problem number 5, you should simplify, or don't simplify once you do the product rule or quotient rule or whatever. Okay. Okay, 9.719. Whoops. This one. So does that one match? Q plus 1, Q cubed minus 3 to the
Yes.
third power?
That's correct.
Correct? Okay. Q plus 1, Q cubed minus 3 cubed. Okay. It's probably easier to distribute the 3. In other words, put a 3 on each of these. Okay. So I'm going to start it as Q plus 1 cubed, Q cubed minus 3 cubed. Okay. You're allowed to distribute that. Maybe there's too many symbols there, but it's just the same thing as AB cubed is A cubed B cubed. It's just hidden in a more complicated expression, but it's something times something cubed. So I can put the 3's in each of these. Okay, so it's sort of like the previous one. P prime. So first times derivative of the second. So the derivative of the second function is 3 Q cubed minus 3 squared times the derivative of the inside, which is 3Q squared. Plus second function, Q cubed minus 3 cubed times the derivative of the first. So derivative of first is 3 Q plus 1 squared times the derivative of the inside. But the derivative of Q plus 1 is just 1, so I don't have to do anything else. Okay, and let's see if you can guess. Yeah, I am going to make you do something more with this, something very easy. So can you look at all of this and see what's quote unquote easy? 3 times 3 is 9. And Q squared, and there's really nothing else over here. Okay, so I'm just going to put 9Q squared, and then just copy the rest of the stuff. So Q plus 1 cubed, and then Q cubed minus 3 squared. Let me just take inventory here. 3 times 3 is 9. Q squared. Got that. Okay. This one I'm just going to copy, except usually you put the 3 in front. So I just put the 3 in front, and that's about it. So 3q cubed minus 3 cubed q plus 1 squared. Okay. Okay, 9.6. 9.6. Reminder, you can have a cheat sheet. So you can have one formula sheet, standard size paper, 8.5 by 11, front and back. Put anything that you want on it. So let's see, where am I again? 9.6, 15. 9.6, 15. So this is my 15. 1 over 2x cubed plus 3x plus 5 raised to the 3/4 power. So whoever asked that, can you confirm if that's correct? Or if not, it might be off by a little bit. Look at my book.
It's not that.
Okay. Do you see anything close by?
Yes, number 17.
17. 17.
Okay, so my 17 is your 15, correct?
Yes.
This one, okay, thank you. I don't know why they do that. Make things harder on us. 3x squared plus 4x plus 9. Okay, so that's to the 1/2 power. Tell you what, let's just do this to save time. Anybody who asks me a question, if you put it in a chat, be ready for me to ask you, hey, is this the problem that you really want, or, is it off, or it's not even in the book or whatever, okay? So if you send me a question in the chat, be prepared to confirm with me whether my book matches your book. Okay, so y prime is 1/2 comes in front. 3x squared plus 4x plus 9 raised to the -1/2. This is a recurring theme, right? 1/2 minus 1 is -1/2. And then times the derivative of the inside, which is 6x plus 4. Okay, and this time, since both of these numbers are even, 6 and 4, I can clean it up by distributing the 1/2, right? If this was a 7x plus 4, I wouldn't bother. But since 6 and 4 are both even, I will take half of them. So that's going to be 3x plus 2, right? And one more time, I'm choosing to distribute 1/2 times 6x plus 4. It makes it easier. 3x plus 2. And that's going to be a square root in the bottom. So over radical 3x squared plus 4x plus 9. Okay, and then 9.6, number 8. So I'm guessing that one's off too, but it should be close by. Okay, so here is my 8. So it's probably something like your 10 or whatever. So can somebody confirm with me?
Yeah, you nailed it. It's 10.
It's 10? Okay. The reason why, this was off too, so I figured maybe this was also off too. Okay. So thank you. Your 8p of q is equal to 4 times what? 3q squared minus 1 to the 4th power minus 13q. Well, this one's easy. The derivative of this is -13, right? So the hard part is this one, I guess. So p prime of q. So 4 times 4 is 16. 3q squared minus 1 raised to the 3rd. And then times the derivative of the inside, which is 6q. And then minus 13. And yes, this can be combined. 16 times 6, that's easy. Just punch it in your calculator. it's 96. So 96q times 3q squared minus 1 cubed minus 13. Okay, so I think you kind of caught the gist of what I want. So you should have seen, all right, if on the test you get something like this, 16 times 6, okay, you can easily do that. Okay. But for multiplying, where was that other one? Like this thing, right? There's no way I want to do that. There's no way you want to do that. I'm not testing on that, so don't multiply that out. So, okay, yeah, there's still some gray area. So there might be something that's easier. How do I want to say it? Easier than that, but harder than this. So if there's a gray area, again, you can always ask me during the test. Okay, then 9.2. So let me go to 9.2. Number 5. Okay, so here is my 5. So is that the, whoever asked 9.2 number 5, is that the question that you're looking for?
Yeah.
It's okay. All right. So is it continuous? Well, if I plug in -3, I can tell I get 0 in the denominator. So automatically it's not continuous. Okay. So let me write it for you. Y equals x squared minus x minus 12 over x squared plus 3x, x equals -3. Actually, it's a lot easier if I just factor the bottom. The top might be factorable. It doesn't really matter. I'm just looking at the bottom. Okay, so if I plug in -3 right here and right here, that gives me a 0 in the denominator, right? But 0 is not allowed. 0 is not allowed in the denominator. In the denominator. Okay. So the function f is not continuous at x equals -3. It cannot be continuous because there's no point, no ordered pair there. So whatever the graph looks like when I reach -3, it's either going to be a hole or something like that, but it can't be continuous. How come? The function's not even defined there. Okay, then somebody asked for 29. It's a limit problem. So this is what I see. So can somebody confirm if that's correct? X approaches -infinity, 5x cubed minus 4x divided by 3x cubed minus 2.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Five x cubed minus 4x divided by 3x cubed minus 2. Yes, there is a reason why I raised this up. Okay, so this is x cubed, this is x cubed. The trick is to divide top and bottom by x cubed like this. Limit x approaches -infinity. Okay, then I do all the divisions. Okay, 5x cubed divided by x cubed is 5, minus 4 over x cubed is just 4 over x cubed. And then 3x cubed, that's a cube there, sorry. 3x cubed divided by x cubed is just 3, minus 2 over x cubed. Okay. And now here's the thing. When you plug in bigger and bigger and bigger negative numbers, -100, -1,000, -1,000,000, -1 billion, -1 trillion, that approaches 0. That approaches 0. You don't have to draw this for me on the test if you don't want to. you can just go straight to the next step, which is 5/3, because it's basically 5 minus nothing divided by 3 minus nothing, or 5/3. Okay, that's 0, so 5/3. Okay, so I've caught up with the last round of chat, so you stop share and go back. So where we were, 9.6. Let's see, 9.6 number, kind of forgot where I was. 9.6 number 8, I got that. 9.713, okay. 9.713, I think that's the only extra one I got. All right. 9.713. And that's the last one I have. So if there's nothing else, then we can just stop. What time is it? 6:40? We're still good. .713, okay. And go back and share the screen. Okay, 9.713. So this is my 13. So can somebody confirm if that's correct or if it's a nearby problem?
Yes, it's the same.
Same, okay. So y is equal to 5/3 x cubed 4x to the 5th minus 5 cubed. Okay, so it looks like a product rule. First function, second function. Okay, so copy the first function and then times the derivative of the second. So 3 comes down, 4x to the 5th minus 5 squared times the derivative of the inside, which is 20x to the 4th. Plus, and by the way, even at this stage, you can see some easy things to do, right? That 3 will cancel that 3. I can do 5 times 20 is 100. And x to the 3rd times x to the 4th is going to be x to the 7th. So this is one where you definitely should keep going. Don't bother squaring that out. That's not going to be fun. Okay, so what did I do? First times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. So the derivative of this, 3 cancels out, so I have 5x squared. Okay, so there's nothing really to do here. Let's see, cancel, cancel. So I said it, but now let's write it. What did I say? 5 times 20 is 100. X cubed times x to the 4th is x to the 7th. And let's see, then I just write this stuff, right? 4x to the 5th minus 5 squared. And then this one, there's really nothing to do, except usually you put this one in front. So 5x squared, 4x to the 5th minus 5 cubed. And that's pretty much about it. All right, so I'm done there. Let me stop the share. I have caught up. So we still have about 14 minutes or so, but that's up to you. All right, so does anybody want to ask anything? Otherwise, we're done. So I'll blab a little longer to stall. So again, Tuesday, you can still ask questions at the beginning, but hopefully I won't have to answer as many questions since you got a lot of it done today. But the limit for Tuesday is 6 o'clock. I have to give you the test by 6 o'clock. But if at 5:40 nobody has any questions, then we'll just go right to it. Okay. So I'll project, I'll project on my document camera. But again, I'll try to send it through Canvas announcements because that works better for a lot of you. And yeah, same stuff. 6:55, I'll close the class. Take pictures on your cell phone. Submit it by 7, and the test by 7, and homework by 7:30. But if you want to submit the homework early, that's okay too.
Professor,
All right. Yes. Question, somebody?
can I ask you, your camera, when your camera is facing the the problems, can you make it clearer? Because I find that it's kind of blurry to me.
Okay, can I make it clear? Unfortunately, no, I don't have a focus button. And that's really bad. Yeah, it's not clear to me either. So it almost feels like I'm at the eye doctors when I'm doing that. But yeah, unfortunately, I cannot. This is the document camera they gave me. There's no option to focus. So that's also one of the reasons why I have to say everything. I try to say everything too. So say, huh, is that a 6 or a 9 or whatever? So at least I try to say it. So sorry about that. There's nothing else I can do with that, unfortunately.
All right,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. So anybody else? Otherwise, we're done, folks.
Can I, if nobody has any questions, can I take a look at number 13 again? I
Yeah.
just want to make sure.
9.713, the one we just did?
Yes.
Okay. So let's see. Share the screen. So this is it. It's on the video also, so you can always look at the video too. But did you have a question about it, or you just wanted to look at it?
I just wanted to look at it. Thanks.
Okay. I'll keep it up for a little longer. Meantime, if anybody has a question, you can put it in the chat now or say it. Otherwise, we'll be done as soon as this is over. Okay, was that enough time?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, I don't hear anything else. I don't see anything else, so I will declare the meeting closed. All right, so that's it, folks. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
And we'll see you Tuesday for the test. All right, thank you. Bye.
Thank
Have a good
you.
weekend.
Bye.
You're welcome.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Welcome. Good night.
Oh, sorry. One more thing. It's more about your the weight of the homework. How much is the weight of the homework again?
It goes toward participation. So, and participation is 100 points.
Okay,
And yeah, okay.
that's all. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Good night.